The Instagram 9-grid strategy is not for everyone. And in this video, I want to talk about who exactly it is for and how you can leverage it as a tool to grow your business. Now, the 9-grid strategy is this: a strategy that involves turning your Instagram account into a microsite or a landing page. And the word 9-grid refers to the form that those 9 posts take on your profile. You can use this by itself. So the 9 latest posts on your profile, delete everything else. That's what a lot of people do. You can also use this strategy in conjunction with others, which I'll show you as well. Most people use the 9-grid strategy as a way to pause their account. So to take a break from social media, perhaps. Maybe they don't even want to use that channel anymore. Maybe they're refocusing on another platform like LinkedIn, but they still want to have something on their Instagram. You can also use this as a way to save a handle. This is my favorite way to use this for some of my other projects that I work on. I want to own the handle. I want there to be something there if someone happens to look it up, but I'm not posting there regularly. You can also use this as an opportunity to focus on other types of Instagram posts. Where this strategy came into my awareness was actually with Jordan Gill. I'll post her Instagram below and I'll show you an example of hers as well. She talked in the Social Slowdown podcast with Mag Casebolt about why she made this decision to not constantly have to update her feed, but she actually focuses on creating Instagram stories and Instagram Reels content. So her regular feed posts, she doesn't keep active. Rather, she activates or she uses Instagram stories and Instagram Reels. So it could be a way to refocus on those areas. The downside of the 9-grid strategy is you don't have new feed content. So if you're not updating your Instagram regularly, Instagram can choose not to participate with you in the platform and not show your posts. They obviously want to reward people who spend a lot of time on their platform. And so the potential downside is if you don't have that new content, Instagram could also not push out whatever else you're doing to other people. The second downside is that this grid is for new people only. Basically, people who are looking at your profile. That's it. Someone would have to literally go look up your name and look at your profile. Then they would see this 9-grid. Otherwise, they would never see this content. And so for some of my favorite students and clients who are considering this, if you want to have new people discovering you, this strategy may not be for you. The last thing is if you add any new content to this strategy. So for instance, you've got your 9 posts and then you add a 10th, it really disrupts the pattern, especially if you have a pattern, which is why I don't necessarily like patterns. I'll talk about that in a sec as well. But if you do have a pattern or a puzzle grid, it could disrupt that. And that's how many people use this strategy. But that being said, you can still use this as a way to keep the profile almost like a mini landing page. So if someone lands on it, you're present. That's what I did with this example. This is the Savvy Social podcast feed. I took our podcast art. I actually used a tool called Planoly to split it up. I have that tutorial right below this video in the school. And this is an example of how I use the 9-grid strategy. I very clearly state in the bio that this isn't an active account. If you want to follow active accounts, my account or the Savvy Social School account are best examples. I do have the link to our podcast page, but that's it. And you can see there are some people following the page. We do get tagged occasionally, but this will stay like this until I change my podcast art. Now, another option for this, which is my favorite option, is what I did with the Savvy Social retreat page. We just launched this page. It is a 9-grid strategy. So again, we're using that idea of a microsite or a landing page. It's like a mini website. If someone lands on this, they get everything they need about the retreat. And what I love about this strategy is if I want to add a new post, it's not going to mess up the puzzle or the feed. And I'll show an example of this with one of our clients, Afrosexology. They use an ongoing pattern in their feed. So it's usually 3 colors at a time. I should say this is not safe for work. They use 3 colors at a time, but one time we had to use 4. And so if you scroll past this point, the puzzle is off. Now I'll also refresh because we just posted something and the puzzle is off again. So it's really only accurate 1 in every 3 posts, which I find makes my skin crawl. So if that's important to you, go for it. If not, forget about it. I love this strategy as well. And you can use any of our templates and bundles in the Savvy Social School to do something similar like this. And I mentioned Jordan Gill. I love her stuff. And she has the same problem here with her pattern being off, which I should have took a screenshot before recording this because it wasn't off. She actually has a 6 grid going on. So she just has 6 posts and you can see that they're all connected and that's her strategy. I will say this, when you're updating your 9 grid, you're posting 9 posts at the same time. So if someone's following you, they're going to see all 9 posts in their feed, or at least the majority of them. And if the post can't stand by itself, they may scroll past it. So with this, for instance, let's take this bottom square. You see this bottom square just posted in the feed by itself would be very odd. It's like part of my arm and my sleeve and then like a blob. And so that post could not stand on its own. So as you're thinking about your strategy, I want you to think about the individual posts and how they can stand on their own. The last thing I'll mention is that while this is visually appealing, I do want to note that we actually still write out full-length captions for each post. Again, we consider this to be a micro website. So when we're thinking about the posts themselves, we try to make sure they touch on all of the points that we want them to touch on, just in case someone lands on this page, they're scrolling through the posts, and they want to get a better sense of what this even is all about. And so that's why we make sure that each caption is also fully present and can stand on its own. All right, good luck creating your own 9-grid strategy. Hey, before you go, I've got to tell you about the Instagram Mindset Guide. It's a free resource that's going to help you strengthen your marketing by strengthening your mindset, and I think you'll love it. Grab it at the link that goes with this video, and I'll see you back here with another video very soon. Bye!